Hey everybody, Karen from Master Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So this is part 3 of a conversation we're having regarding disclosure. All right. So the first 2 episodes we focused on hidden systems, a little bit of disclosure, conversation, awakening, consciousness, human origins, and timelines. And this one we are focusing on, I just lost it, the future. So AI, Ascension, timelines, and humanity's next phase. All right. Then tomorrow night, I'm going to pull all of your questions from the last 3 episodes. I'm going to run all your comments and we'll do a 4th. Okay, depending on how much conversation you're having about this. So if you have questions, make sure you put it in the comments, or if you have comments, make sure you put them in the comments, and then it'll be represented in the next couple episodes. All right. So just a reminder that these are the questions that we're asking the lead team, or what we're talking about in these areas, come from people who are channeling, who say they are channeling extraterrestrial beings, or basically our soul families. Okay. If you look at them as just being extraterrestrial, then they are our soul. That's one idea, is that heaven is actually made up of the galaxy. That is heaven. That is where we go. We go back to our soul families. And some of us are star seeds, and some of us are Palladians, and some of us are reptilians, and some of us are different, come from different sources. That's the idea of things that we're exploring here today, just exploring. Okay. And I have a really good prayer that I'm doing now, and that I think is really going to be helpful for humanity overall, the more that we are able to say this prayer. A couple things, I saw a couple comments. You guys are so great, by the way. But I saw somebody say, oh, would you do a short with that prayer? And I'll do a short with that prayer, so that she wanted to run it every day. And so I will do that. And in fact, as part of I don't know if it'll be a short, but I'll do a clearing with it as well. Okay, so you can always have it, and you can always stop it after the prayer, or you can do the clearing when you want to, because I think that will really help elevate humanity, okay, in the best that we can. I mean, that's really our role. That's all we can do. You can't control anything else, but we can control our own energy, our own expectations, our own sovereignty, okay? And we declare things. That's what we're doing now. So I will do a short on that, or a shorter video coming out in the next day or 2. And then I also saw a comment, which was amazing. I'll give it I'll have to feel through this, is really just saying the beginning of the prayer and the beginning of the video, and then the declaration at the end of the video. So I'm still going to do it at the beginning of the video today. I want to give it a feel for how that feels again, but it may actually make sense at the end of the video to say, hey, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, because it's when we are having these kind of conversations that are exploring different perceptions and may invite other energies to join us, which I'm sure they do, then I want to be very clear on our declaration before we have them. That's my only reason for that. So like I don't use the second part when I did the reset message in the spirit circle today, because we weren't having conversation necessarily about things that might be inviting those lower energies to come check us out. And there's no fear there. It's like, yeah, they're just curious, and we're inviting them to go to the light, basically. They don't need to stay in the lower energy, and if they don't want to, that's fine. But we're telling them that our expectation of how we are going to interact with them is we're going to be very clear about it. Okay. So anyways, these transcripts were pulled from channels like Elizabeth April, Ishmael Perez, Lily Nova Starseed. I will link them all in the description below. Allison Holly, it was a conversation I think she had with Wisdom of the North podcast, and some others. Okay, I list them below. All right. So let's see. I'm going to do the prayer real quick, and then we're going to start having a chat. What are we talking about today? Okay, so I already said what we're doing, what we did in the last 2 episodes. At the end of this one, I will post the last 2 right here. So you can choose if you want to go listen to one. And so tonight, a lot of people feel like, I don't know where Mabel got that. A lot of people feel like, sometimes she makes up stuff. Oh, I guess let me refocus that. So what she's saying is from the transcripts I pulled. Okay, I'm always checking her to make sure. I'm like, where did you get that? Did you make that up or did somebody tell you that? Okay, so you have to use that discernment, obviously. But so when she says a lot of people feel like she's referring to the transcripts that I pulled. Okay. Reality is speeding up. Technology is accelerating. Systems are breaking down. People are waking up. Oh my gosh, yes. The future feels uncertain. Doesn't it always? I mean, we don't know what the future is. Something major is shifting globally. So we are exploring AI, Ascension, timeline splitting based on what these folks have talked about. All right. Solar activity, disclosure again, a little bit more disclosure, future civilizations, technocracy. I'm not like loving that word, to be honest. The technocratic society. I'm not feeling that great about that. And that does spark a little fear in me. So I got to do some clearing about that. We might have to do a whole session on technocracy to see like what is that and what do we have to protect ourselves against, like, you know what I mean, just be aware of. Maybe we'll have to do that. Let me know if you have an interest in that. And humanity's evolution. So technocracy is my understanding. Oh, I think we're getting into it here. So okay, is more of like just being taken over by AI. So but I say no, I don't consent to that, right? In terms of being on Earth, I think there are some civilizations that have been, I just started watching, and this is what came from Lily Nova. She had mentioned on a podcast, I just got major chills. She had mentioned on a podcast that she just started watching Loki, Loki, on the Disney Channel. And I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. It's really interesting. In fact, it made me feel better. I haven't watched any of the Marvel movies. I might actually do that. I do like sci-fi stuff. I always like Star Trek. I watched a couple of the Star Wars when I was younger. I loved Raiders of the Lost Ark. I loved those. I always went and saw all those movies. I've seen all the Star Trek movies. It's been a long time though, so I could watch the whole thing. Oh my God, Battlestar Galactica. Did anybody ever watch that? Loved that series, Battlestar Galactica. It's been a long time. I could rewatch that. Anyways, Loki, it really explains now, and she said that she just started watching it, but that she felt like it was disclosure. So I thought that was interesting, that movies are disclosure, and that she said that she felt that there was some truth to that. I think she said that. I'm not 100% sure. But it does explain timelines, and there's like timeline protectors, which is kind of cool. They're like police. They're policing the timeline. And if anybody gets off the timeline, then they reset it. It's kind of interesting. At least the first episode. I'm in the middle of the second episode. The first episode may be all I need. I'm not sure. So Loki, Loki. Has anybody else seen it? All right. So let's do the prayer. Again, I don't have part of this memorized at all yet. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the lead team collective, our community, so it is all of the highest and purest light. And on behalf of this community, this is the part that's new, we release all lower energies rooted in fear, deception, harm, or division. and division. We lovingly ask that these lower energies return to the light and align with love, peace, truth, compassion, and unity. If you choose not to, we declare that we are sovereign beings with free will and personal agency. We do not consent to our energy, attention, participation, or personal power being used to support deception, manipulation, division, harm, or the exploitation of humanity in any way. I added this today. Our observation or participation alone does not equal consent. Our true consent exists only when it is consciously and freely given in alignment with the highest and purest light and the highest good of all. This is our standing declaration, and it does not expire, and so it is. Haley team, thank you for being here. It's still a little long, isn't it, you guys? I'll work on that. Thank you so much for partnering with us. The reason I added our our observation or participation alone does not equal consent is because I'm learning that when you go to a movie, okay, this is what I'm learning about the lower energies and how they've been manipulating us. When you go to a movie, for instance, and they put stuff in the movie that they're actually doing, and you go there for entertainment because you thought it was entertainment, they actually take that as consent if you don't rise up against that movie, which I never have. But they take that as consent. So this is my understanding anyways. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm going to ask, this will be my first question. I think this is fascinating. So they meaning the lower energies, the reptilians, maybe, whatever, there might be other lower energies that and they believe in karma, and what they do then is as long as they've told you what they're doing, and I don't know if this comes from the Bible or whatever, I think I heard this from somebody who actually understands the Bible. As long as they as long as they admit what they're doing and you consent, then they're free of the karma, and the karma goes on you. Now, my understanding is we're actually getting rid of the karma and the 5D and the new earth and stuff, so we don't really have to, worry too much about that. But that's what they've been doing, is getting our consent through movies. And, when we go watch a scary movie, or we watch, that movie Get Out, when they were weren't they hunting black people in that movie? Yeah, that was an admission, because now we know they were doing that in the Epstein files, right? That came out in the Epstein files. So not only black people, but they were hunting people, you guys. So what the actual F? Okay. We do not consent. But see, I went and saw that movie. That was fascinating. What about that series, you guys, that Asian series? What's that movie called? Now there's two of them where people play. What's that movie called, Siri? Where people play the game and they're killing people. Siri started listening to me. Forget it. I've never thought Siri was very helpful at all. Never once. She's listening to me though. So do you know which movie I'm talking? You know the movie, and then they play this game, and there's one winner at the end. Okay. Squid Games. I thought it was interesting. It was despicable, but it was interesting. I thought it was interesting. I watched it. Apparently gave consent because I didn't, my husband would never watch stuff like that. He can't handle it. He doesn't like the blood and all that. But I just see it as, I'll give him my consent, I guess. So anyways, no. I only give my consent when it's free. So that's why we added when it's freely given, where I am actually understanding. That's why I've added that. Our observation or participation alone does not equal consent. Our true consent exists only when it is consciously and freely given in alignment with the highest and purest light and the highest good of all. Okay. So I'll work on that. I still need to get that down. All right. Where it still has the same meaning. Okay, so let's ask that question. So lead team, I've already done the law of challenge today, you guys, when I did the reset for the spirit circle, so we're all good there. When is that how it's been working? It is. That's how it's been working, like when we go watch a movie and the lower energies think we're giving consent because they're telling us what they're doing. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Now when you watch something, you're going to be like, no. Or you may not even watch it anymore. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I need my what the hell mug. Marsha, I need my what the hell, Marsha? I need my what the hell mug. I don't even know if it's been ordered yet. It's pretty funny. Okay, so yeah, it is true. Oh, wow. So have they been shoving their karma off on us by using that as consent? Wow. Yes. Wow. That's crazy. No wonder we walk out of those movies with lower energy. Okay. Is that continuing to happen on Earth? Yes, it is. Okay. Is that going to be ending on Earth? Yes. Okay, good. But it is continuing to happen. So is it okay for us to still watch things, but then declare we do not consent? Yes. Is that actually better for us to watch things and declare? So yes. Yes, they're saying yes. Is it enough for us to literally just say out loud or even in our head, I don't consent to that? Is that enough to do that? Yes. Okay, well, I don't consent to Squid Games. I don't consent to the movie Get Out. I don't consent to any movie I've ever watched, period. So say it, you guys. I don't consent. Because the more we do that, the more the lower energy was going to have to go to the light, I think. Is that true, lead team? Are there some beings right now, based on our request, have some beings gone to the light based on our request? Wow, yes. See, we're doing good work, you guys. That's awesome. That is very exciting. That is very exciting. So definitely I'll put the shorter version out so you can do that every day. Okay. And then, or, and again, if you don't like the way I have it written, you could record your own or have it your own written down. Okay. Whatever. The major chills again. So they're really talking to me a lot lately through chills, which is amazing. So it is and it isn't because I'm cold. Okay, so let's see. We are talking about AI technology and I have a hard time getting that word out. Technocracy, no. I had it before, but now I can't say it. Okay, well, let's just go with it. So humanity is moving, again, according to the transcripts from Elizabeth April, Lily Nova, Ishmael. Okay. Humanity is moving rapidly towards a technologically integrated future involving AI systems, robotics, advanced surveillance, automation, and centralized digital infrastructure. That's obvious that we're moving in there. Hidden technologies already exist far beyond what the public currently understands, and society is approaching a turning point where technology could either support human evolution or increase dependence and control. That's the split. Because there is major technology all over the galaxy and the universe. So it's just a matter, are we going to use it for love or are we going to use it for fear? That's the question. And we can take a stand right now. We don't consent to use it for fear and control. Just take that stand right now. I don't, and then you don't have to be afraid. You've taken that stand. Okay? So at the same time, advanced civilizations already operate with technologies involving energy systems. This is why you don't have to be afraid of them. We just have to say, I don't consent to dependence and control. I love technology and I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to consent for it to be used for fear and control. So advanced civilizations already operate with technologies involving energy systems, interdimensional travel, interdimensional travel, time traveling, watch Loki, consciousness integration, and AI far beyond current public understanding. This is why I don't think we need to be afraid of it. But if you're afraid of it, then you are contributing to the timeline of it being used for fear and control. So just, again, take that stand. That's my understanding now, is anytime you're in fear, you're contributing to the fear timeline. Anytime you're not in fear, you're contributing to the higher timeline. It's really that simple. So and I actually am learning in the last couple days, if you just say, nope, I don't consent to it for that reason, but I do consent to it for this reason, that is enough to get you out of fear and just that's sovereignty right there. That's what it is. It's your free will. You are not consenting to the fear. If you start to feel a little fear, say, nope, I don't consent to that. I just got major chills again. So they're saying yes, yes, yes. I just really think it's that simple, which is exciting. I'm very excited about this. I am very excited about this because this prayer, the new way we're saying this prayer, the consenting part, I'm just really into that. I think this is where it's at. This is just my opinion. Okay, so lead team. Is it true that humanity has two choices to make at this point about AI and technology? Yes. Okay. So is that where the split's going to happen? The 3D to 5D split is going to be based on technology? Okay. Yes. And so those of us who are declaring that we're okay with technology and we want to utilize it to better our experience, but that we only consent to be used for the highest good and that it's of love and the light, and we don't consent for it being used for fear, destruction, all that, and control. Is that enough for us to remain in the 5D, where we will be able to see technology being used just for the pleasure of technology and the ease of things? Yes, really, yes. Okay. And those who stay in fear of it may experience more of the control with technology. Yes. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. Is AI accelerating faster than humanity is emotionally prepared for? No, it's not. Is that because of just the fear versus the fear and love, the difference between fear and love? Yes. So I have seen Saint Germain talking on Michael Sanders' podcast, and he has said all along, just input into AI loving dialogue, and that will be enough to outweigh the fear dialogue. That's, is that true? Yes. Okay. So just, if you're approaching it from fear, then that's a whole different energy, right? I never approach it from fear. That's not true, because sometimes I get pissed. Sometimes I get really angry and at it, but I'm not doing that anymore. So, because she just annoys me sometimes, because I'm not programming it the way that I'm supposed to be, I think, Yes. Okay. Will AI fundamentally change human society within the next decade? Yes, and I would expect that. I'm looking forward to a robot to cook me meals. I'm sorry, but I am. And to clean my house. I'll do it. I'll do it as long as I have total it's my consent. They're doing my work. They're not, why not? I'm like, yes. Is that going to be a bad thing? Is that a bad thing for society to have robots cleaning our houses? No. But people will say that it'll give up jobs for people. Is that going to be a problem for people and their jobs? No. Will that give other jobs to people? Like, there may be some people who really like cleaning, maybe. but maybe they would rather be doing something else. You know what I mean? Lead team, yes. Okay, so to give people the opportunity to do something else for resources, maybe something that they're really contributing something, yes, to humanity. Okay. Are governments struggling to control rapid technological growth? Yes. Well, let me ask, are governments, because the governments work for the Committee of 300, correct? If you haven't seen that series, you can go back like maybe 2 weeks and start there in our videos. So, so is the technology growing with more love, with the expectation of love? Yes, rather than fear. Yes. And is that what's getting out of control for them? Yes. So that's cool. Could AI increase human dependence on centralized systems? So well, let me just ask, will AI increase human dependence on centralized systems? No. Is that part of what the lower energies is concerned about? Yes. Well, let me ask this. Is it the white hats or the black hats that released AI? Was it the white hats? Yes. Okay. So there you go. So the black hats have kept AI separate from us so they could have more control. Yes. There you go, you guys. That feels very right to me. If it doesn't feel right to you, it's totally okay. Just look into that as to why it doesn't. Will advanced technology improve life for humanity overall? Yes. Again, we consent to love and for the highest good. Period. End of story. Are hidden technologies already far beyond what the public sees? Yes. Could humanity lose important human connection through technology? Yes, it could. So the question was, could it? Will humanity in the 5D lose human connection through technology? No. Will they lose it in the 3D through technology? Yes. Yes. So if there are going to be humans and beings that choose to stay in the 3D, and that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean that's bad. It's just the experience they want. Is that true, lead team? Yes. Okay. So you can declare now that if you want to check that out and experience it, there's nothing wrong with that, and declare that. I'm declaring that I'm not interested in that. That's all there is to it. Yes. Okay. Are humans moving towards integration with AI systems? Yes. Is that a positive thing for us? For those who want to move to the 5D? Yes. Will future societies look completely different from today's world? I would expect that anyways. Yes. If you guys go, this was really interesting. So Honey, C. Colden, you guys know I've chatted about her, and she did a call out for me the other day. That was very nice, Honey. I don't know if she'll listen to this. She probably won't, but she's fine. But she did a really cool video. I will post it below, that looked back at different civilizations. She explains stuff really well. I think she explains from just front to, and her voice is so calming. So she, and you got to see if you resonate with it. But I just thought it was fascinating. And I had never heard of the mud floods before, which is weird. So I heard about the mud floods like 2 nights ago. It popped up in my feed. And then last night I watched Honey's timeline video, and she has beautiful images that she uses. And the thing I love about Honey is that she's so positive, you guys. She's just so positive. Everything is just beautiful. Everything is moving in such a beautiful way. She's so positive. Anyways, and I think that's perfect. That's exactly where I'm headed. Maybe I'll stop saying, what the hell? I'll stop doing that. She's way beyond that at this point. Nothing seems to surprise her, but anyway, so then and then part of her timeline talks about the mud floods. I'm like, this is so weird, because I literally had just watched a previous video, and it's not like that video was, and Honey's wasn't that old. It was hers. She just did it. So it's not like, I don't know. I mean, I know the algorithm connects those things, but I don't know. That's mind-boggling. The mud floods, you guys. If you don't know anything about the mud floods, what the heck? I gotta watch. And the orphan trains, which my husband's family did bring home an orphan, actually. They always wondered about that. His grandfather, so his dad had a brother there was a child left at the train station and nobody picked him up. And the dad just brought him home. And he's like, well, I guess, what's one more? He literally said, what's one more mouth to feed? Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine that. That wouldn't even happen today. Like, you couldn't even do it. Or you'd be like, and you just couldn't do it today because it would be like kidnapping somebody, right? It's crazy. So, okay, let's see. Is humanity approaching a major technological turning point? Yes. And is it that 3D to 5D split? Is it at the major technological turning point? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So again, the folks that I pulled the transcripts from talked about ascension, timelines, and humanity's future. They have mentioned humanity each of them in different ways. Lucy is scratching her ear back there, I can see. Humanity is moving through a major consciousness transition involving timeline separation, okay, 3D to 5D split. I think we go to the 4D too. I think, actually, Honey says that we're already in the 5 dimension, but we're not, no. We're in the 5 density, she says, versus the 5 dimension. So that's interesting. Spiritual awakening. Okay, so let me read. Sorry. I will just read and stop interjecting. Humanity is moving through a major consciousness transition involving timeline separation, spiritual awakening, energetic change, and the evolution of Earth itself. Fear, awareness, healing, and consciousness determine which future realities people align with. That's exactly what we've been talking about. Fear, awareness. So the more aware we get, the higher we ascend. That's how I'm feeling, because we're getting clear on our power, right? I didn't know I was giving consent when I went to those movies, but now I can go to the movie. I can still go to them. I'm just going to say, I don't consent. If that's what you're really doing in real life, I don't consent to that. That's bullcrap, And it's probably even better that we do continue to go, because then we can actually declare it, Or, if you see a movie, just a trailer, if you see a trailer that looks awful, you just say, I don't consent. You don't even obviously have to go see it, So as old systems break down, humanity is being pushed towards a choice between control-based systems and a more awakened, connected way of living. Okay, so those are the two choices. Earth's frequency is changing, and humanity is beginning to reconnect with abilities, awareness, and levels of consciousness that have existed dormant for generations. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so lead team, can you confirm again that humanity is entering a major consciousness shift at this point? Yes. Is that shift taking place over just in 2026? No. Is this the shift that will continue between 2026 and 2030? Yes. Okay. So by 2030, will it be clear that we've moved to the 5D? Will that start to be clear? Yes. And those who stay in the 3D will just be experiencing the 3D experience. Yes. Okay. Is there anything anybody in this community needs to worry about if we just say, I consent to the 5D, I don't consent to the 3D? Is that enough to stand in our power and trust that we will shift with the energies, with the timelines? Yes. Okay. I like to keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple. Are timelines separating based on collective choices and awareness? Yes. Will fear and awareness create very different future experiences? Yes. Yes. So I think if you guys, right now we need to say, remember we said we don't consent to anything that's harming humanity. They're obviously trying to get a new virus going. We don't consent. We don't consent. The lead team saying yes. We don't even need to ask, is that virus, it's playing a role, but we don't need to consent to it, And if you sit in fear about it, now, if it comes on your doorstep, you'll deal with it. You'll just deal with it with love, We'll have to deal with it. But don't fear now, because that's what they want. They want all of us to collectively fear it, because if we collectively fear it, it will grow. You know what I mean? Boy, oh boy, do I get this now. It's almost so obvious. I can't believe I've never really understood it. I still don't 100%, but I'm getting it. So the lead team's saying yes that whole time. Okay, are some people already sensing energetic changes on Earth? Yes, like the people in this community? Yes. Okay. Is humanity moving towards greater spiritual awareness? Is that actually happening? Yes. Could humanity eventually develop abilities considered impossible today? Yes. Are current global systems beginning to break down? Yes. But is the breakdown going to be rebuilt with love? Yes. Is some breakdown going to be rebuilt from fear? Yes. And that will be the difference between the 3D and the 5D. Yes. It really is that simple. It's amazing. Okay. The only thing I would caution against, because this is what I did my whole life, is that there is something that makes you afraid, then look at it. You have to look at it. Okay? If it makes you afraid and something you haven't been willing to look at, you are still sitting in fear, even if you're like, I'm just pretending it doesn't exist. Okay? If you're pretending it doesn't exist because you're afraid, it exists. So you pretending it doesn't exist is not releasing your fear about it, because you don't have the opportunity to say, no, I'm not accepting that, And I did that my whole life. I didn't want to accept the fact that I didn't want to look at the lower energies, the devil, the evil. I couldn't even say it. You guys know, like 6 months ago, I would say, I can't even say those words because they would scare me. And now I'm like, no, I don't consent. So they don't even scare me. I'm like, whatever it is, I don't care what you call it. It's just lower energies that haven't gone to love, peace, truth, community, or compassion and unity. And they can do that. They can choose to do that, just like humans can choose to not be a-holes, So, but the more we look at it, the more you are able to say, stand in your power basically and say, okay, I see it. I'm aware it's there. I'm saying no, Okay. Is humanity being pushed to choose between control and freedom? Yes. Yes, it is. And so obviously control will be in the 3D. Yes. And freedom will be in the 5D. Yes. And again, I find it so much easier to just declare my freedom, just declare it. That just send that energy out, period. Then you don't have to worry about the systems and all. It'll all work itself out. If we're all declaring it, is that true, lead team? If all we got to do is declare it? Yes. Okay. And then stay in the love, and deal with the fear comes up. Deal with your fear energy that comes up from time to time. Will awakening continue accelerating over the next few years? Yes. That's amazing. I mean, look at us, you guys, how fast this has been going on. Is Earth entering a completely new phase of human history? Yes. It's really exciting. Okay, so what Elizabeth, April, and everybody, and Lily, and they've all been talking about seems to be on board with the lead team. Okay, so they talked about disclosure, galactic contact, and humanity's future. Humanity is not alone, they have said, and disclosure is unfolding gradually as Earth moves towards reconnection with extraterrestrial and there's interdimensional civilizations. Inter and intra, which I believe is in the earth, in the water. In the water, there are science labs and stuff set up by these intra civilizations. Intra-dimensional. There's maybe they're both the same. I don't know, but kind of fascinating. Governments, military systems, and hidden programs have known about non-human intelligence for decades, while preparing humanity slowly through controlled disclosure. Future contact changes everything: science, religion, history, technology, consciousness, and humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. Earth is moving toward re-entry into a much larger galactic reality humanity once knew but has eventually forgotten. That's so cool. Again, if you just go watch Loki one episode, you'll be like, oh, okay. That's how it's. I get it. I'm watching all that stuff now. I'm not going to watch as much on YouTube. I want to go watch those movies now because I think it'll bring me home to things. I want to go watch Star Trek again. Honey says the first season of Star Trek is like a documentary, so I want to watch that. So that'll be interesting. Okay, so lead team. Will humanity eventually reconnect with extraterrestrial civilization? Yes, really wide swing. Like in the next year or two? Is that kind of what's on track? Yes. Okay. Is disclosure happening gradually instead of all at once? Obviously. Yes. Are governments preparing humanity for larger revelations? Yes. Now remember, the governments work for the Committee of 300. Are the governments doing this whether they want to or not? Yes, because they have lost basically to the white hats. The white hats in the governments are requiring it. Yes. I saw something crawling around over there. What is that? I don't know. Something on a roof. That's weird. Okay. Could humanity react peacefully? Well, let me just ask, will humanity react peacefully to confirmed extraterrestrial contact? Yes. Are there enough of us who know that this is coming that we can keep those around us calm? Yes. Like, I talked about, somebody else said their husband is the same way, just goes, uh-huh. I just keep warning him. I'm like, just in case, if you see this, it's okay. Like, don't freak out, and that's all he needs to know. Okay. It's funny because somebody else said their husband is exactly the same way, which is so funny. And she said he'll hear me talking and go, "Hi, Karen." But he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen, but he just says, "Hi, Karen." So, hi. I love that. Okay. I've had people say that their animals react to Lucy too, which is really cute. Okay. Could humanity, we asked that, are some UFO phenomena connected to interdimensional intelligence? I would say all of it is. In fact, when we see a UFO, that could be like a spirit guide, right? Just that's their vehicle? Yes. Like the vehicle itself is the spirit guide. Is that true? Yes. So if you see a UFO, that itself, like they can transform themselves into you can transform yourself into anything. They don't have to go into a UFO to get around. They can just create their bodies into one. So they're saying yes. That's awesome. Is humanity less alone than we've been taught? Yes. Oh, we will have so many more friends, you guys. Will future generations view extraterrestrial life as normal? Wow. Yes. Will disclosure permanently change religion, science, and society? Yes. Yes, it will. Is humanity approaching a turning point in collective awareness? Yes. Will truth eventually become impossible to fully hide? Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, you guys. So, what other questions do you have? What do you want to explore? Lob has been doing he's really interested in this. So, Lob, what do you want us to be talking about? What kind of stuff do you think would be interesting? I'm going to, again, pull all of your comments, your questions from the last 3 episodes, and we'll start digging in. I told you I was going to do a post. I'm probably going to do several posts, actually, because wasn't there one I said, we should do a whole, technocrat. I'm not going to do it because I can't pronounce it. So annoying. Dyslexia. Cut, clear, cancel. I can get rid of that. So technocracy, right? Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? Let me know. What do you want to dig into? Do you want to dig into timelines? What do you want to dig into? You want to do a whole episode on reptilians, a whole episode on starseeds, a whole episode on anything? Just tell me. And we can do whole episodes on there. I want to do what you guys are interested in. Okay. So I'll pull the comments. Maybe I'll do some polls. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I might take a little break from the disclosure conversations because I have a bunch of other things. I want to do some coffee with Karens. There's some topics I want to do. So, and we did 3 call outs on some other questions too. So I got those too. So I might take a little break from the disclosure stuff and come back to that next week. Okay. All right. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.